Hello and welcome to this Omega 365 product session today. Today's topic will be activities in Omega 365.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a very central register in Omega 365. It has several integration with other registers in Omega 365. So if we have a look here at this slide, we can see that it's among those three main things we talk about in the big picture of Omega 365. You have the organization structure, of course, that you are familiar from previous sessions, which describes how you are organized. And then we have all the activities and workflows, which is basically the scope of work. Yep. And then the target, which is the asset structure. So today it's all about the activities. So I'll just jump directly into our application software and go to the activity register first. Traditional grid view with all the activities in your project, and you have some nice group by folders available easily here. For example, if I'm interested in having a look at all the inspection activities going on or planned in this project, I go here and I can see that I have several activities related to inspection, and we can scroll over here and see that there are some planned start date. Those that are completed are marked the completed date. I'll come back to this in a few minutes, how it's integrated with the scheduling. And I can see who is responsible for executing. Jan Christian, you are responsible for one of those, so perhaps we can look at that one. Yep, inspection of field inspection of cables in area 01.
Yeah.
So what do we see here? We have the name, of course, of the activity. We have a planned start and planned finish date. We have the possibility to set up so that it's automatically repeated, for example, like a yearly activity that you're going to do. In this case, it's a one-off thing, so no need for repeating it. And this is a part of the commissioning schedule that we'll look into soon, and you are responsible. On the right-hand side, we can see related workflows, and let's say you are out there in the field, and you will show how you can do that also with a mobile
app.
Yep. But I'll show you here first. So if you want to register a punch against this inspection, you can just do this like this. Something is not correct, and then you write it quickly here. And then this is then a workflow, so it has all the features that you used to from the workflows module in Omega 365, with the possibility to define which steps it's going to go through, who is responsible for doing the different steps, etc., and associating comments, attachments, etc. to it. So you have it very easily available from here in this workspace, and you can have, of course, multiple workflows related to this activity. And if the workflow is already registered, you can just connect to it by using this feature. Okay, so in this activity we have more information. You have prepared a procedure for how to do the inspection of cables. We have a concrete checklist, which is shown down here. And the checklist could be from a checklist library that you can define up front, or it could be specific for this activity. You can link it. For example, here we have a few documents that are relevant for this inspection. You can write a conclusion of the inspection here, and you may have multiple sub activities as well. So that's quite a lot of information that you have about an activity. In addition, you have the possibility to use our scheduling tool for scheduling these activities. So if I go in here in my project schedules, you will see that we have a commissioning plan, which shows in a Gantt view all these field inspections that we need to do first before we can do the handover to commissioning and later operation. So here you have features that you may be familiar with from Microsoft Project, for example, or Primavera, where you can set up relation between the different activities. Here you see that this activity has a predecessor up here, and you can also highlight the critical path. So if I click on this one, I will see which activities are on a critical path. This is using standard methodology for calculating the critical path, which basically means that if any of those activities on the critical path are delayed, it will delay the whole project basically. So any delays on these activities, the last activity here will be postponed. But it's okay to be delayed on this activity. It won't impact the complete schedule. And you can, if I click on any of these activities, you get some more details about the activity, including the constraints. For example, here we say that this activity should start as soon as possible, so the system will generate the start and finish date based on that. You can also choose must start on, so then you decide basically which date this activity needs to start on. And you can have same with must finish on, what exact date it needs to finish on, as late as possible. It will use the scheduling based on relations and set the date as late as possible to reach the deadline on the last activity. And you have the possibility to tie it to a WS, so this could also become a part of the cost and progress reporting. So the progress on the WS level can be calculated directly based on the activities that you have here. That could again be used as part of the earned value management methodology in cost management. You have the possibility to say which calendar this activity is based on. So this is a normal 5 working days, 2 days off week, but it could, and that could include holidays as well. So Christmas days are off, and then when you say how many work days and activity duration is, it will be calculated based on this calendar. And the progress can be set here. You can set it manually. That's in most cases what you do, but it's also a possibility to link it to the document register, link documents to activities, and then have progress calculated on the progress of the documents actually. And then you can go back to when we started off this session. You saw all these details, so you can go back to this page where you have all the information really about the activity. So an activity in Omega 365 is very enriched, one can say, with of course both the possibility to schedule when the activity needs to be executed, and a lot of information about the activity.
And it's really kind of one of the foundations in Omega 365, because you can use it here in your case in a commissioning plan, and it's actually a field inspection, but it could be so much other. It could be a control plan or control inspection or a review or just something that needs to be done, some work that needs more.
For sure. And one thing also here that I want to mention is, you can see we had some, if I highlight the critical path, it's red, but there's one that is still dark red, and this is handover of operation, handover to operation. And the reason why this one is dark red is that it is tied to a milestone, and we have a dedicated milestone register. So this is tied to milestone 102. So if I go to the milestones register, I will see that there is a milestone 102, handover to operations, which is actually a payment milestone. So this milestone might be defined in a contract, so it's nothing that you really can do anything with. It's something that you has been promised to the project, or anyway a part of the contract. So it's not something the ones that is doing the scheduling of all the detailed activities really can do anything with. That's a milestone that is set in the contract, and the date was 9th of March. However, according to our schedule now, which we just looked at, it was 5 days delayed. It's 14th of March. That's why it turned red in the activity in the project schedule. So we have it there. That's why this one is dark red. So you can tie an activity to a milestone, and this milestone register can also be the control access wise, so that someone else that can update the data. You might agree, okay, with a project that this can be delayed, and then someone will update the milestone register, but it's not automatically updated based on the activities here by design. A couple of other things that is possible in here is to define some settings, start date for the schedule, of course, which default calendar to use, which default constraint type, duration, work days, default value, and what type of activity to show by default. And you can define section. You can see here I define one section for field inspections and one for handover. And it's possible to have different versions of the schedule, so that in case you do some simulation, you can easily switch back and forth between the versions of the schedule. Yep, and finally there's another view also of these activities. We have something called a Skyline.
Yeah.
Activity Skyline, which can be a very nice way of getting an overview of what is planned ahead. We have the different color codes: completed, not closed, started, etc. Overdue are red ones. And you can choose among different, so in this case I just want to have a look at inspection activities. I just select those, and that's what's shown up in my activity Skyline. And you can choose for the date, time period that you want to see this for as well. Yes, that's what I wanted to show from the desktop. You can show something perhaps from mobile app, or did you have anything else?
No, I think this was really good, and I think there's a dedicated mobile application for activities, but also for workflows. The native in iOS and Android. The main reason for both of the application is to work offline. They work very well on online as well, same as offline, but the majority of the kind of functionality is for offline. So you can check those activities out, and we'll see how that is done. So let's go over to here, and as you can see, you have the checklist app. We navigate into activities. Here we can go and filter for the activities. I'll find the one that I'm responsible for. The field inspection, open this one. Now it will sync down to my phone, and I can navigate into it. Here you have same information. We can look at the procedure, and we have the checklist. We can choose to go and do a check, write a comment if we would like. We could also attach from camera or a file you have already on your phone. If you choose to, we only do this one item, we can go back and then sync it back up to the cloud, click the cloud icon, and now it's synced back up. We could also go to the creating a punch. It's very, I won't show that now, but it's the same as you saw in the web version, where we go to workflows. You create a workflow, and it's attached to the activity.
Yep.
Yes.
That's good.
Think that was a good show off with the activities and the native app, and hope you enjoyed that. Next Friday it's Tech Friday again.
Yep.
We'll see what we have in the cooking for that. Okay.
Exciting. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
weekend then.
Yes.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.